Okay, okay. We're playing this thing for the third time. All right. Yeah. We are playing this. I am playing this for the third time. This is full spoilers run. No concern to anyone who hasn't seen or played this game yet. This is strictly to reanalyze this piece of media. It's not a horror game this time. It is just textual media analysis. I played through the first time, missed everything. Then was prompted to play through it again. Already had a take in mind. That was the problem. The tiny bit I pulled from the first time I played put me on this certain path. It was what I wanted to see, and I think there's merit to that view, and I'm going to talk about that. But it let me kind of gloss over another reading, which I believe now to be the most likely canonical reading of the game. And so we're going back to Mouthwash a third time. We're looking at what I'm going to call, as a concession to the platforms I'm on, the Jimmy is scum reading. And the other one is the Jimmy as player insert reading. And if you subscribe to the Jimmy is scum reading, which is the one that I think has the most support for canonically, it's really hard to see the Jimmy as player insert reading. And the Jimmy as player insert reading does need you to... Well, we're going to find out exactly. It may require you to ignore a few lines of dialogue, but we're going to see exactly. That's one of the reasons why I really want to go back and see exactly what's said between Jimmy and Curly and between Curly and Anya, and how it relates to the greater narrative of the game. But let's just start. I do think both readings... Well, the Jimmy is scum reading certainly has merit as the canonical reading of the game. And there is, I think, a valuable message to be gleaned from the Jimmy is scum reading. But it does flatten some things, and that's why I want to come back and see if there's... See what hoops I have to jump through to get to my, like, projecting of the Jimmy as player insert. I mean, the obvious... Okay, let's go. New game. Pony Express long haul freighter Tulpar. Our ship. Crew 5. Shipment duration over a year in space. 140 days elapsed. Less than half. This is the first bit. I hope this hurts. I didn't see how a lot of people interpreted that line, who it comes from. We play through most of the game as Jimmy, and Jimmy does have a number of delusions, essentially, that he works through. But as a statement to start the game, an orbital body has been detected 21 AU ahead of the vessel. I believe this intro is all pretty much straightforward. Please make a manual correction 1.8 degrees leftwards to avoid impact with unknown mass. This like sets you up. There's dialogue, I think, that sets you up for the gameplay, for it to be a game. And then there's all the dialogue that's saying what the game may or may not be saying. Our only choice, to steer right. Direct collision course with orbital body 1.9 AU away. Engaging autopilot to redirect vessel. Advise crew to take up emergency positions. 4,000 credits docked from crew pay package for failure of navigational staff. This is the bit that pushes me very slightly to the Jimmy as player insert reading. It is much less subtextual, the anti-capitalist vein of this game. It starts right here. 4,000 credits docked from crew package for failure of navigational staff. Like, the anti-capitalist thread runs through the entirety of the game. And again, is much more surface level than what it takes, the media literacy it takes to see the Jimmy is scum reading. Yeah, we're sure this is what we want to do. Warning. I do think this is like a little thin, but them putting Anya's ID here first, I think is like actually a tiny thing that pushes you towards the Jimmy is scum reading. Somehow this shit is still creeping me out for the third time, even when I'm trying to disengage from the horror elements. But, like, that's part of the anti-capitalist, like, reading of the game. And both can be true. Like, it can be, like, the feminist call out of the Jimmy is scum reading and still be like anti-capitalist on the side. But I think there's like slightly more to it if you can. Well, we'll talk about some of it when we get to the things that the subtext that is implied that implies the Jimmy is scum reading. But like here, the horror is the company. Pony Express and Polle provide the horror. Like being trapped on this ship in endless corridors. Your job is just an endless slog. Like giving you like cloying garbage slogans that mean nothing. Don't be daft. You know? Like the Pony Express is set up to provide the horror. Forgot that guy was there. Looking good, Polle. Yep, still freaked me out. Still freaked me out. Two months after the crash. Okay. I got my pen. I got my paper. I'm ready to take my notes. anyone else would do the same thing. We ain't touching the damn cargo. The hold is locked down for a reason. The only thing worse than dying slowly is not getting paid. But it could be something useful. I think. Could be what? Hopes, dreams, and marzipan? Huh. You don't have to... If it helps us survive, it's worth it. Man, Pony Express bosses really aren't chill at all, huh? Come on, a quick look won't hurt. How exactly is this group therapy committee planning on getting in there? Oh, right here, boss. You're looking at the meanest swing of the regional junior baseball team. Straight up nearly corked a kid once. I could take the utility axe and... You were goddamn born fully corked. That's enough, Swansea. There has to be an in case of emergency way inside. If I remember correctly from the safety protocols, the doors should have an alternate access code. But it can only be uncovered using a code scanner device. And only the captain has access to the scanner. Of course, go ahead and ask him all about it then. Maybe he'll sing you the blues too. We don't need him if we find the scanner, get the code, and open the hold. For better or worse, I'm captain now. I'll figure it out. Right on. I really thought there was more... Like it's pointed out in the Jimmy is Scum reading that Anya appears to be scared of Jimmy. But here, I guess her being afraid of Swansea as well doesn't negate that reading. But I thought there was more Jimmy being rude here. That they started you off early with Jimmy being scum. But that's not even the case. You do actually just... legitimately come into the situation believing that you are Jimmy, doing the best that you can in your crashed ship. Ain't you supposed to be figuring out our great cargo robbery? Why are you standing out here? None of your damn business. Everything is my business now because of Curly. I don't want to keep having this conversation. Right, Capitano. I'm working. Blue-collar fools can't afford to stop working, even when the machine does. Go figure. And before you start, I'm taking a break. Don't you worry, I ain't going over my break time allowance. Ha. Working on what? How does it look in there? It's a solid wall of foam. I'm trying to see if I can break it down enough to get something useful out. Any of my tools. But if I breach the foam and break the air seal, it's lights out for all of us. I ain't letting anyone else mess around in there. Even Daisuke, he's your intern. He's supposed to be helpful. You think I'm letting that knucklehead in here after the crash roughed it up? Our so-called nurse nearly skewered her leg when the vent hatch was open during maintenance. And that was before the crash. I warned her, but it's in one ear and out the other. Then there's that teeny bopper thinking only with his downstairs long nose. Just like my useless kids back home. So no, ain't letting anyone mess around in here. Alright, Swansea. Keep me updated. Like, it's clear here, too. Like, Swansea doesn't want his intern in. Like, there's an intern on the ship with us. Like, it runs through the whole game that, like, Pony Express doesn't care about the crew of this ship. Oh yeah, that I don't need. Not right now. Oh, but you know what? Maybe that'll save us a little time later. If I don't forget it. Swansea hasn't let anyone utility since the crash. Says it's filled with foam. Okay. Our nurse should be here. Even she couldn't make the situation worse with her presence. There is, like... I didn't realize how shitty Swansea was at this point in the game. There is definitely, like, a pretty shitty misogynist feel to their treatment of Anya. Swansea at this point. But this is kind of part of the, like, Jimmy as player insert scenario, because at this point in the game where you're introduced to them, their lives are in danger. Like, this is not how they behave normally, you wouldn't think. So when you get this view of them right off the bat, it tests you to, like, understand that these are human beings in a life and death situation. Because the instinct is to be like, oh, Swansea, what a dick. Absolute, like, shitbag. Just mean to everyone all the time. Looks like it'll be soup again for dinner. You want a rock, paper, scissors for the chicken noodle? How much food do we have left? I'd say like 4 months-ish. Less than the remaining air supply, but we can make it last. In theory. We'll be starting to poke new holes in our belts pretty soon to pull that off. Man, my mom will straight up stuff me when I get back. I'll look like Swansea. We'll have a rad story to tell, though. They might even write articles about us. We could be on TV. It'll impress the ladies, too. Hell yeah. The real problem is us running out of toilet paper. Fatal stuff, man. We should leave that part out for the press. Okay. Like, this is the... So it does tell you we're 2 months after the crash and we have less than 4 months of air and food. Huh. Okay. This is the shit that I think is really super important here. Starting now. He doesn't want to keep still anymore. What about the painkillers? It just hurts him so much. I can't stand the noise. You did make it through nursing school, right? Pony Express sure does know how to cut corners, if nothing else. Also, well, I was hoping you could help me with Captain Curly. Right, sorry, with Curly's medication. People have to be worth their titles. Don't you think, Nurse Anya? Yeah, forget I asked. I'll take care of it. And this is like such a complex like situation right here. Like, it was mentioned in some of the dev Q&As that like Pony Express doesn't hire a licensed nurse. They just have Pony Express nursing courses. That Anya's like literally not qualified to do her job. She does not have adequate training to do the things that she's expected to do. And like, it seems like Jimmy's being a dick here, but again, their lives are on the line. When you read the Jimmy is scum reading and you believe that Jimmy has assaulted Anya, it makes this look so much terrible because you already think, oh, Jimmy's scum. Of course, he's just a unfeeling a-hole. And so it makes it really hard to think that there's anything else going on here. Like, there was some take that like Jimmy is indecisive and, you know, Anya's the one who's giving him shit to do or whatever, but he does come in and give Curly the painkillers here. Hold still, yeah? I don't like this any more than you do. You know what they say. Pain is how we know we're still living. I can't bear to listen. Excuse me, sorry. And it's really tough with that too. Like, it's super weird because there was another thing in the dev Q&A that said they enjoyed recording those sounds. And someone had mentioned that like the second time it sounds like Jimmy is like physically beating Curly or something. But like we'll have to wait till the second time. Like there it sounds reasonable that those sounds are just Jimmy trying to force Curly to swallow medicine like you might a dog or something. I'm not... I gotta like... I think the Jimmy is scum reading is the canonical take. I gotta like reiterate that. I'm just trying to see if there's something else here because I think there is. We don't have a whole lot of painkillers left, but you still want to keep... Why do you think he did it? Does it matter? What answer would make you feel any better? I have to believe that our worst moments don't make us monsters, Jim. See, she's like, if Jimmy assaulted her, this is like the weirdest... This seems like a genuine interaction here, does it not? Like, she genuinely is trying to understand why Curly would crash the ship. If she knew that Jimmy assaulted her and she told Curly and he did nothing about it, I just feel like she would have a better idea of why Curly crashed the ship. Because at this point, she believes it was him. And this statement gets repeated by Anya. This is what I think is challenging about this game. That this statement is repeated multiple times here. Our worst moments don't make us monsters. This was the thing I seized on my first playthrough. That when it's revealed that Jimmy crashed the ship, you have Anya here to say that our worst moments don't make us monsters. And you have this anti-capitalist through line that all these people are put in this situation because of the way the world works around them, not because they're bad people. I have to, even in his case. He tried to take us all down with him, Anya. The way I see it, there's two reasons to keep him alive at this point. Guess the important bit is that we all agreed to it for one reason or another. I'm still feeling nauseous. I need a minute. It is still a tricky thing. Like I said, I do believe the Jimmy is scum reading to be canonical, that Jimmy assaulted Anya to be canonical. And I do think the other reading is slightly me projecting. But I don't think it's completely out of left field with, what we've already seen. What do you guys think we've been shipping? If it's spare parts, maybe me and Swansea can repair the ship and we can get out of here. Right, Swansea? Quit yapping. Well, get on with it. This is all you. I want it duly noted that I had no involvement in this. Are we doing the right thing? Let it be medicine, food, or water. it is weird too how Swansea and Anya are stuck in this mindset. Like they're going to die, and like they're scared that if they get rescued or whatever, the company will like be mad at them. Like that was the other take where like people are like, oh, Jimmy assaulting Anya makes more sense because I don't know why he would have crashed the ship if he was just losing his job. But like losing your job is a life and death situation. Seven days before the crash. And I believe we're Curly here, correct? Are you listening? Yeah, damn, I'm so sorry. Couldn't sleep again. But I passed the psych eval? Well, you gave the same answers as last time. I do wish you'd open up a little more, Captain. These evaluations aren't just about you. As long as I'm fit to fly in your eyes, Anya. Oh, stop it. Guess that means I only have one more eval left to do. Jimmy? He acts as if I do these things for fun. Then I have to make a report with things like, I have found myself sexually excited at the sight of cartoon horses. Ha, well I could take it off your hands. Really? I've known him a long time. He won't try any bullshit with me. I suppose you are the captain. I am the captain. Thank you, what a relief. Oh, before I forget, Swansea asked me to give you this. They can't expect me to perform miracles. Not sure what it means, but sounds like fun. Good luck, Captain. It's just hard to parse this little interaction here with Curly and Anya because there's the idea that in Jimmy is scum, it's that Anya doesn't want to do his psych eval. But again, she is unqualified to do her job. It's not her fault. It's Pony Express's fault. So, and Jimmy is hesitant to engage with the psych evals anyway. So most people would be hesitant to go do Jimmy's psych eval. Even more so because it's unquestionable that Jimmy got Anya pregnant. Only the details of the situation are up for debate between the two readings of the game. And either one would also make things more awkward between Jimmy and Anya. And again, it's more anti-capitalist shit that like they didn't put a real psychologist on this year-long space voyage to make sure these people were doing well. You know, the fact that they have to all do their own psych evals to each other and it doesn't matter who the hell does them, like, is on the company. Like that, again, runs through the entire game. That whatever these people do, it's because they are put in this garbage situation due to the way the world works. Excluding Jimmy's actions toward Anya in the Jimmy is scum reading. If you believe that happened, that is not the fault of the company. That's what changed the whole underlying thoughts of the game. And this is the scene, this is the other scene that stuck out to me the first time I played this game. Because I remembered this scene being genuine between Jimmy and Curly. That they felt like genuine friends. That this was like a real expression of you know, their legitimate feelings between each other. I did not think this was like two dudes covering shit up. And Pony Express said they don't provide onboard entertainment. Feels like there's always something broken in that room. Tulpar's starting to show her age. Again, the company doesn't give a shit about these people. Past inspection, right? Shouldn't be an issue. Plus they added Daisuke last minute. Like they weren't even going to send the extra tech. Didn't account that there'd be 5 of us now. I really should have made a bigger stink about that. Maybe you should intervene, or we could just close the door. Your call. Well, I can see the issue. The kid was brought on just to make me suffer. Intern my ass. I was just trying to fix the vent. How did that trigger the emergency foam? Because you're talented in all the wrong ways. I would have dealt with this, but only you can unlock the axe case. Every damn thing has to go through you. I'll handle it. Hang in there, Daisuke. I also feel like this music is so weird and out of place. I don't know what that's about. Youch. Oof, strong stuff, huh? Get it through your damn skull. That vent is strictly off limits. Fully effing collapsed inside. You looking to get impaled, electrocuted, and cooked? Yeah, but like, you can't fit in there to fix it, right? So I can totally handle it. Captain, give me the axe. Swansea. This could have damaged the pods. You can't let something like this happen again. Yeah, I got it. Loud and clear. Keep the axe until you've cleaned this all up, yeah? It's okay to be big, boss. My Gramps was super huge, and he lived until like 60. What are you standing around for? Clean this mess up. Take it Anya diagnosed you with being sane then? Just off center, but it's what keeps me on my toes. I said I'd do yours. I want to hear all about those cartoon horses. Is that something you were born with or a recent develop? All right, shut up. Let's go to the cockpit. Yeah, I remember this scene like being meaningful here, that we were supposed to care about these two people. And like the Jimmy is scum reading, just like, it's like, why is this scene here? Because they're collaborators, because even the people that seem friendly turn out to be shitbags. Like, and here, like, we dive into Curly. Like, this is the parallel to, like, diving into James's subconscious in Silent Hill 2, right? But we're playing as Curly right now. Does it matter which way I run? There we go. I mean, I believe this is just more bait for the twist, right? Like, at this point, you believe that Curly is the one that crashed the ship. what does this bit mean here? Like, we run through the void to this meeting with Curly. With Jimmy, excuse me. Like, this is the only thing in our entire world here. Can't just make something up for this. It's not like these evals ever go anywhere when we get back. We'll power through it. Have you been able to complete your mandated task as co-pilot efficiently and to your fullest capacity? Like, even this, have you been able to... The first question on the psych eval is whether or not you can do your work. This is like another anti-capitalist thing. Like, they set up the problems and then like try to give you the answers in your free time or whatever. You know, that kind of shit. Here, like, they don't care about your actual mental health. They only care about if you can do your job. Like, again, it's such an on the nose through line. Let's see. It was also said in the dev Q&A that there was more to this scene, but it was too dialogue heavy. That there was actually more of Curly doing Jimmy's psych eval. And I really wish that would have been in the game. Because I really that would have spoken to, like, it would have fleshed out either of my potential readings. I'll just put good for that one. That's all of them. Done and done. How are things otherwise? Off the record. I like it. We're in control here. Didn't think you'd ever take to being a freighter pilot as well as you have. What with how you struggled back on Earth. Sure, all I ever hear is how great of a leader you are. Honestly, it's kind of annoying. So what is it? How come it always seems like you're standing on the edge of a bridge with your feet in cement? See, like, people are like, oh, Jimmy's a psychopath. He's jealous of Curly. But here, Jimmy shows, like, legit, like, awareness. Like, he can see that Curly's unhappy in his job, can't he? Is that not what's happening here? If you think Jimmy is scum, why is he asking Curly this question? Listen to the music. It's gentle. This is supposed to be genuine. Lately, I've just been thinking, is this enough? Should I just stay here because I've been successful at it? A good long-haul freighter captain. And that's bad? That's what I'm saying. It's not. But it's terrifying. I think, am I figured out? Is this all I'll ever be? Or do I take the risk and try something new? Even if I'm bad at it. I guess I get it. You reached the highest rung on this ladder. So now you're thinking you might be on the wrong ladder altogether. Still a long way down from the top, no matter how you look at it. While I'm still climbing and climbing. Like, is Jimmy's resentment of Curly unreasonable? Like, when you and your team do a whole bunch of hard work, and then your boss's boss comes and just congratulates your boss, does that not make you feel like shit? Is that not a reasonable take? Jimmy's just a jealous coward or whatever? Like, I just don't think that's what's happening here. But hey, you know, I believe in you. Here on Earth, doesn't matter. Huh. You should write that on the psych eval. Oh no, the big guys themselves. Guess that's my cue. I'll see you later. News from corporate. Like, these television programs, these aren't about Jimmy being a shitbag. These are, like, this is a weird, like, corporate propaganda film.
profit can give its workers security and employee benefits. Operating at a profit, a business can provide the employee with comfortable, colorful working conditions, high wages, and steady employment, first aid and health protection, accident and life insurance, time off for vacation. The employee working for a profitable business can maintain a savings account, own his own home, and have plenty of leisure to enjoy the peace and quiet of family life. When investors foresee a business operating at a steady profit can give its workers security and employee benefits. Operating at a profit.
Yeah, it's just straightforward corporate propaganda. And Jimmy's like delusion here or whatever. Or are we Curly? Curly didn't access the cargo hold and we're in the cargo hold.
Here, in fact, is the answer to a dream as old as man himself. A giant of limitless power at man's command. And where was it science found that giant? In the atom. A particle so infinitely small that it takes over 100 billion atoms to make up the head of a pin. Just as other millions and quadrillions of atoms are the tiny building blocks which make up everything in the world. Ships, and shoes, and sealing wax, and cabbages and kings. Although no one has ever seen here, in fact...
I got nothing on that one. Did they have like munitions, or was that a meat processing factory? Like here, it looked like they were bombs, but I think this is meat processing. It's just such... It seems just like right on the nose, does it not? Am I misunderstanding those cartoons? Someone smarter than me is going to have to figure out the other ones. Revolutionary new dental hygiene product. Brand new formula designed to kill bacteria and kill germs without leaving a bad taste. Consult with your local dental hygiene specialist before, during, and after the use of Dragon Breath X mouthwash. Will not accept responsible for any harm caused by the use of this product. Okay, we're back in cargo. We've got all the mouthwash we could drink. This is mouthwash? Uneffing believable. There's got to be an ocean of the stuff in here. This room looks freaking endless. This is what they'd have 5 people hauling for over a year? All of this? For mouthwash? The sugar content probably offsets any potential as a disinfectant. Disinfectant? What do you... Let me see that. 14% ethanol. Huh? I suppose we'll smell good at least. That's right, kiddo. You can bet your ass on that. What are you doing? Stop that. Woohoo! Oh, shut up. I'm just an old codger taking care of his dental hygiene. You hear that? That's the sound of 15 years of sobriety popping like a cyst. A glorious, magnificent, red-hot cyst. Good riddance and cheers. To Captain Curly, hear, hear. Guess anyone could get seriously blasted off this stuff. Yeah, and kill you in the process. This can't be real. There's no way. Now we can go out in style. Daisuke, come here. Anyone ever teach you how to drink like a man? I mean, it's just more of the same, right? Like, I sound like a broken record at this point in the game. Like, this was their last hope, that the company would be shipping something that could save them. And instead, they've sent 5 people out on a busted-ass ship without proper medical care, without proper training, to haul some random, useless product that they're selling. Like... It's just so clear who... It feels so clear who the bad guy is supposed to be. Surprise. Look at your face. Gotcha. Cheers. Oh, wow. What's the occasion? We only get 1 communal birthday party per trip, right? So we can have it whenever. Only one person can be really surprised. Only one person can really be surprise birthdayed per trip. We did Swansea last haul, remember? No way. I can't believe I missed that. You were next on the list, so congratulations. Hate to say it, though, your duties have to extend to even your own birthday party. You're the only one with clearance to make the cake. The recipe is there by the machine. Hop to it, Captain. Water and gelatin, cake base, and sweetener. Yep. Like, this entire scene is so prominent. Like, you take the time, you make the cake before you let everyone know they're fired. You got to make a speech. Can't argue with that. Speech. And again, I thought when you read it as Jimmy just being a psychopathic scumbag, like, that's just not how it comes off to me. Go on. Hey, what's wrong? That's all it said on the report from management. We will receive the paycheck for this delivery. I don't know any more than that. Pony Express finally kicking the bucket, huh? What a joke. And we're the punchline. I don't have any savings. They can't just do this, right? Pony Express was one of the last man crew freighter companies. The writing's been on the wall for a long time. When did they tell you? Earlier this week. I was instructed to wait until we're closer to the hall destination. But I can't keep something like this from you all. So I guess you got what you wanted, without the guilt. Jim, if I had known, I can go back to my, how'd you put it, struggle of a life. Anya never got into medical school because she's, well, let's be real. And how many employment years Swansea got left in him. Daisuke will be fine. Mommy and Daddy have him covered, so there's that at least. But you, headed for bigger and better, right? I'm just working on my life being a place I don't have to effing escape. That's what I was trying to tell you, nothing more. We're the ones you're trying to escape. Like, again, I think that Jimmy assaulting Anya is like the more reasonable read based on some of the text, but like to like see Jimmy just as a legit scumbag the whole time, like it's just so hard. Like this is a reasonable response. Like he had a heart-to-heart with his friend, and then his friend came back and fired him. And like, leave the dirt behind now that your boots are clean. That's not what I meant. It is what you meant. You just couldn't frame it to yourself in a way that kept you as the hero. Abandon the crew, but remain the model captain. Like, unbelievable. What am I supposed to do? And like, yeah, that's like the first time where Jimmy's a legit dick. And he like says mean shit about everyone else. But I just like, it should be an understandable response. Have people not ever gotten fired before? Like put their entire livelihood in jeopardy? Let's have some cake, Props to the Twilight Cruise of the Tulpar. Props to our captain and his new prospects. He's still asleep. Oh. Just a handful left. Once these are out, we'll have nothing to keep him quiet. That is a crass view of it. Like, you get those, like, back-to-back, like Jimmy being an asshole after he got news of being fired. Like, they're literally throwing the guy a party, and then he comes in and fires them. Like, it's just, like, trickier than, like, a lot of the, like, comments I read out there make it. But I do really want to hear... I don't know if he's been given his medicine yet. I do not recall. Oh, they're in the cockpit. Swansea and Anya, right? No, I understand completely. If that's how it has to be. Oh, it's you. Jimmy, not able to sleep either? It's nighttime. Why are you talking this late? Anya, are you crying? No, don't worry. I'm okay. We all need to keep it together. Oh, I'm keeping it together. Don't you worry, Captain. He's making noises again. Did you give him his meds before, Anya? No. Must have slipped my mind. I'm sorry. I'll do it. No, really, I'm perfectly okay. I said I'll do it. There's a lot to read into whatever they might be talking about here, about Jimmy's interaction with Anya. You getting a lot of use out of that right now? Force of habit. Don't overthink it. Like, I do very clearly see the reading that, like, Anya told Swansea what happened. He has the axe to protect them from Jimmy. But, like, I don't know. Keep going. Stop with the noise. Damn it. I know what everyone is thinking. The way they look at me. What could I even say? Like, if you take this as the Jimmy is scum reading, then you just, like, think it's Jimmy trying to, like, dodge responsibility or whatever. But, like, there is, like, the world where this is actually Jimmy trying to, like, reckon with what he's done. You know? That they don't know anything. That this is his guilt. Strictly for crashing the ship. What would she do? Damn it. Like, I just don't... If he... Because in the end, he doesn't reckon with Anya's death at all. So is that line... Like, why is that line in there? Is he worried that she will attack him? That, like, she has never done that. It seems like he does actually care. Me in the driver's seat. Thanks for that. Open up. I hope these make you feel better. Yeah, I mean, that definitely is what it sounds like, that he was just beating on Curly for no reason. We should have some. Why? It's mediocre at best, obviously. Sometimes you can only get the subpar stuff. That's what makes the really good stuff good, right? Why bother? Hey, we all tried to escape. Didn't work for any of us. I've thought many times, is this what peace feels like? And is it good enough? If I'm being real, it certainly isn't the best. So all I can do is try and make my life one I'm not trying to run from all the time. Sometimes I'll be promoted, buy a house, fall in love. But other times I'll just have some awful cake with my friend. Right now, that sounds pretty brilliant, yeah? So if you'll do the honors. Right. Well, let me go find a knife. See, even here, like, Curly's trying to tell Jimmy, like, everyone has these effing problems. Your life sucks. Like, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's shit. And everyone tries to, like, get to a point where they can just live. And, like, later, there was, like, discussion as to why, like, Jimmy eats Curly, why he feeds Curly his own leg or whatever. And then it's like, Jimmy actually, like, did admire Curly and was just trying to, like, embody Curly more. Like, I think there's a legit reading that, like, Jimmy actually feels remorse for all of this and is trying to... Shit, where the hell is the knife? Oh, you go get the axe, don't you? Like, at this point in the game, it is possible that Jimmy is still in denial. Like, he will not take responsibility. It flashes there, take responsibility. And Curly gives him a chance again to, like, set the record straight. And he just gets the axe to try and get Curly out. You know? How many have you had? Those will kill you before anything else. I know. My mom found this internship for me. Such a slacker, she said. I don't know. I just never knew what I wanted to be. Never was good at anything. Total screw up. We're not done yet, Daisuke. I just hope she doesn't blame herself. Please, just take it. I don't want to look at this stuff anymore. I want to be alone if that's okay. Sorry. Like, even Daisuke's story reflects, like, the anti-capitalist stuff. Like, that conversation is like... I just had that conversation with my youngest sister. Like, about how she doesn't know what she wants to do. And, like, you're forced into this world where you just have to, like, do shit. And it puts you, you know, in situations like this. This situation is hyperbolic, but... Oh, wrong door. Anya, you startled me. I mean, I get that here too. This, like, Because I do in the reading, the Jimmy is scum reading, where Jimmy has assaulted Anya. This is like peak writing to me when it comes to dealing with trauma. Like, if you believe that the canonical reading of this game is that Jimmy assaulted Anya, I think it's awesome that they never have to show it to you. They never have to put any graphic bullshit on the screen. Like, just that bit where, like, Anya turns and sees that it's Jimmy and she's scared. Like, that's genius writing to me. It reminds me of the scene in Silent Hill 2 where James goes to grab the knife and what's her name? Amanda? Ah, shit. And she recoils. And like, that's all the depiction of trauma you need to understand that the scene's so heartbreaking. So in that reading of the game, like, it makes this bit genius. And no worries. You thinking about drinking that too? Honestly, yeah. It's still just so hard to like pin that as the reading because they're 4 months after a crash. They're running out of air. They're running out of food. Like, she's deep in her own thoughts about like what she's going to do about that. We're framed up with the capitalist garbage slogans again that are doing no one any good. It'd probably just make me feel sick. Wouldn't fix anything. As much as I'd like it to. Right. Hey, I was thinking, did you know that not all the medicine aboard was in my office? We store some in a storage locker in the hallway. And the idea that she's scared of Jimmy, like, she would be taking a risk here. It's slightly inconsistent with that concept. Like, to say that she knows there's medicine that she hasn't brought up before would be putting her in danger. Why haven't you brought this up earlier? It was foamed up. I didn't think it was possible to reach it. But I've been estimating the position of the foam. I think the medicine depot locker isn't too far into the mass of it. So we could try to break it down. One strike too many on a weak spot. We'll all get sucked into space. I think it's worth the risk. If nothing else, it's an excuse to get Swansea to hand over the axe. And like there, if she told Swansea what had happened, and then Swansea was holding the axe for protection, like there's just inconsistencies in that view of the game. And I know, like, in any given situation, anybody could act differently, but we've got limited dialogue. Like, the game has to be pointed in such a way that the message gets across. Like, where's the axe man? I don't remember. Oh, he's over by the thing, isn't he? Doing his dance. Jimbo. El Capitano, the man with the plan. You done? I need that. This old thing? This was entrusted to me by our previous tragically inclined leader. Big responsibility. But you know all about that, huh? I'm going to try and get some more painkillers. Do something useful, you know? Oh, I heard all about it. You're looking to pull the plug on this party early. I'm trying to save us. Take matters into your own hands, eh? Be my guest. Like, I just don't... If Anya had told Swansea in that scene in the cockpit, I don't feel like sober Swansea would keep his mouth shut, let alone drunk Swansea who thinks he's got nothing to lose. Think I already feel the ship rumba-tumbling through space again. Back to the future. Couldn't quite hear you, pal. See, we're even snide to the representation of the company. We're happy it got destroyed. Like, we're supposed to feel that, like, that sense of smugness with Jimmy, are we not? Oh, wow, Jim. You did it. Yeah, it actually wasn't that hard once I figured it out. Amazing, really. Sure. I hate to ask you again, but could you give Curly his painkillers? It still just makes me so nauseous. You're not serious. Look, I've entertained your sentimentality up until now, but I'm trying to actually fix things on you. I'm getting us through this. It's find the code scanner, then figure out the door code, get the axe, chop up the phone, but not too much, and best of all, give Curly his medicine. But I'm bearing it. I have to, because the captain has to take responsibility on this ship. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Go make sure Daisuke doesn't choke on his own vomit. No, I'll take care of it, Anya. I always do. Like, it's just so hard for me to really understand. Or, you know? He does feel like an a-hole. But again, he's being forced to confront what he has done every single time he has to do this. Like, it's an understandable response. It, like, just labeling him, even in this case, regardless of whether you think he assaulted Anya or not, just calling him a coward or whatever is pointless. Like, there needs to be some understanding that, like, all these people are in over their heads. I don't think I understood the pressure you were under before. And you tried to tell me. Our worst moments don't make us monsters. Again, this line. Like, if Jimmy's an unfeeling psychopath scumbag, why is he admitting this to Curly? You were a good captain, Curly, and you'll be one again. I'll get us both through this. Like, it seems like Jimmy's turning a corner here. Like, we're over halfway through the game. 6 hours until judgment. Jimmy, get out here. You can't hide. I'm going to chop you into 20 pieces. Wait. Like, my hands won't stop shaking. You doing okay? Yeah, can't sleep. 2 days before the crash. I know how that is. I just toss and turn. or stare at the ceiling all night. I actually kind of like the nighttime window screen, if you can believe it. So I just come look at it sometimes. If you look really, really close, you can see there's a dead pixel in the upper right corner. That's so? Don't see it. In the back of my mind, it's always there. Now I'll go bonkers looking for it. Cheers. I don't think it ruins the illusion, though. It's peaceful. But maybe I'm just used to looking at the bigger picture. How many days of transport do we have left? Let's see, off the top of my head, around 237 days. Just under 8 months. Hey, why do you think Pony Express put a lock on the medical room door but not the sleeping quarters? I suppose for the same reason they put a lock on the cockpit. Safety. Like, it's clear at this point that she's pregnant. And that line about the lock on the sleeping quarters obviously sounds pretty damning. But it doesn't... Like, to ignore the Jimmy is scum scenario, it seems like you would have to ignore that line. That... I don't think you... I mean, like I said, the Jimmy is scum scenario, I do believe to be the canonical reading of this game. It just makes so many things, like, less interesting to me. To just be like, oh, Jimmy's irredeemably horrible. Like, when you think about the dead pixel, like her being there and reflecting on her situation, like the dead pixel in the upper right corner of the night screen is like them out in the stars, right? It's this dramatic irony that 2 days before the crash, she's looking at this dead black dot out in space, which is what they will all become. And like, Jimmy doesn't have to have assaulted her. Like, just being pregnant and being like, and having gotten fired, like, she's under the same stress as everyone else. It's tough to really understand. Not to understand, but to... Jimmy, help. It's a total emergency. Calm down. What is it? Anya is stuck in medical. The door won't open. What if she runs out of something? Right. Let's go have a look. We gotta hurry. Go, go, go. Hey, heard the lock's broken. Anya, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you, Jimmy. The rest of our medicine stash is in there, too. Damn, this could be bad. Did you try to really put your back into it? Any wrenches laying around? How heavy is the med kit? Anya, is the door stuck? No. What do you mean? Look, we're all stressed, but you can't go breaking down at every little hardship. Open the damn door. You were right. You were right all along. I should have done this from the beginning. I always believed that our worst moments didn't define us, didn't make us beyond repair. You think I wanted this either? See, this line right here. She's not accusing him of attacking her. She's relating to him that they made a mistake. This line pushes me in the other direction. clearly, like, she's talking about her pregnancy. That they had, like, discussed it. Like, make no mistake, this isn't my worst moment. Far from it. It's the best decision I'll ever make. Open the door. I'll take care of it. Like, if you think Jimmy is scum, then this moment is cut and dry. Like, the situation has driven Anya to a terrible, like, it's just all terrible. Jimmy is scum. This is the effect it has had on Anya. And like, that's it. But in the reading where, like, it was a consensual relationship and Anya got pregnant and Jimmy reacted poorly, like, it's much more challenging to you as the player, as the consumer of media, because, like, not wanting to have a child is okay. Like, they made a mistake and they have to reckon with it. But Jimmy's immediate reaction in the moment to be stressed and scared and not want to have that child and to say bad things to Anya, you know, as shitty as it is, like, it's the challenge on us to understand that they're all put in this, like, terrible situation. One that happens all the time. It's like why access to reproductive health care is so important. And in the Jimmy is scum version, like, all that meaning is lost. In the Jimmy is scum version, Jimmy's just scum. Like, he did all this. And, like, again, I think that's the canonical version of the game. But it takes out all that extra stuff that could have been here. Curly's still in there with her, right? Yeah, you don't think, Daisuke, you and Swansea know the internals of the ship better than anyone. There's absolutely no other way into medical. Well, Swansea said it was strictly off limits. Like, super mega not allowed above all else. The utility room. That busted vent in there loops into medical. But I mean, technically a person could totally fit through it. If that's the only way, we'll make it work. You listening, Anya? Fine. Come on, Daisuke. Gosh, man, I don't like this at all. What could Anya be thinking? We should go check out utility, right? Swansea, we need your help. I know you said utility was dangerous, but I'm good right here, fellas. You know I'm not letting you in there. Off limits. Look, if there's any possibility, Jimbo, letting you scratch at that foam will be useless. You'd only tear this goddamn ship a new asshole. Nothing to be done about it. Bad luck. Tail missed the donkey. But Swansea, this could be really bad. Just hear us out. We're God's handpicked favorites on this here planet, I reckon. Means we get to name it. So let's hear it for Wake Rock. Whatever's going on anywhere else ain't my problem. Since I'm the happiest man Wake Rock has ever seen. Let's just go, Daisuke. There's no point with him. Eight hours until judgment. Don't do anything. Stop, stop, stop. I can fix this. Why do you keep saying that? Are you hearing yourself? I'm sorry. We still have disinfectant, right? The one from the extra medical stash? Get it now. The cocktail, The cocktail? What are you blabbering about? That was your fault. You would never have... I had no choice. You... useless. You idiot. There has to be something else. like, if there's still the read, sure, that like, no, it just doesn't make sense. If Jimmy, because later, when you see Anya, when you see Anya's body, and Jimmy doesn't, like, that's another damning criticism of Jimmy, and I agree with that. That's another big reason why I think Jimmy is scum, is the canonical outcome. But why would Jimmy send Daisuke into the vent at all? Why wouldn't he just let Anya, like, leave her to her fate? If he had such little regard for her as a human. Like at this point where you walk in here and you see what happened, that Daisuke did not make it through. Oh, you don't see it at this point. The flower is Daisuke, right? Like, this is his grave. Honestly and truly, I can't read what it says. I mean, it says to point the thingy at it. Take care of it. Like, if Jimmy didn't give a F about these people, why would he keep trying to take care of it? Like, he feels the guilt. Be quiet. A blind beast, aimless and restless. You can't run from it. Is this not literally like guilt? Aimless and restless, you can't run from it. And it's like, again, represented by the horse, by Pony Express. Shit, did I just go in a loop? No, no, no. Okay. Damn. I'm sorry. I messed up. Don't try to talk. I think the vent and utility connects to medical. But you heard what he said. Going in there now, it's too unstable. Trying to break the foam could risk the air seal. I just don't want to F up again like I did before. You heard Anya. I wouldn't put it past her to do something extreme right now. You and me, Daisuke, we can save Curly, yeah? Swansea won't help, so we'll figure it out ourselves. Right, alright, yeah. We got this. But even before the foam, how do we even get the door to utility open? Swansea's been practically camping in front of the door, and he has the key. I have an idea. You're going to have to trust me. We need to knock him out. You're going to fight him? No. Even he has to have his limits when it comes to booze. We'll make him pass out. Simple, safe. He might not even realize we did anything after the fact. There's a recipe for a mocktail in the kitchen. We can follow the steps, but use different ingredients to add kick to it. Come on. This kind of feels like a heist movie. Ain't as fun in real life, man. See, I just don't... I mean, I understand the through line here that, like, oh, Jimmy thinks up making a spiked drink or whatever. But it's just like a crass thing for Daisuke to then joke about if it's supposed to hint at Jimmy's, like, past activities and stuff. Like... Mouthwash, alcohol, and sweetener. That drink looks sick. I can totally picture myself on a beach with a hot babe and a few of those. Then I'd drink too many and throw them up all over myself and never be able to drink them again. Good times. Let's just get this to Swansea. Taking to teaching my intern now. I personally try to educate based off years of experience. That's just me, Captain. You good? Yeah, I'm all good, man. What is that? Look, we need to keep working together. If this is how I can get us through this without us being at each other's necks all the time, then... Yeah, give it here. We kind of freestyled the recipe. I can tell you had a hand in this monstrosity, kid. You ain't no mixologist. Sure as hell ain't no mechanic either. You never should have come here. Who even decided to let you aboard, huh? Stick the idiot with a bunch of sad sack adults and see what he learns, eh? Bootstraps and all that. What a load of horseshit. See, and now when Swansea comes out, like it's just the same old shit. Like, it's just so on the nose. You think it's all going somewhere, but every failure leaves you a little more mangled than before. Older, uglier, meaner. Smarter in a worse way. Wallowing doesn't suit you, Swansea. I suppose you think we should all be acting like you, our hard-working, esteemed captain. I say take a load off before the sun finally sets on this party. May we never go to hell, but always be on our way. Is he still breathing? He practically bounced off the ground. He'll be fine. His tolerance has to be through the roof by now. Probably just wake up with a massive headache. Oh man, he's going to be so mad. I'll never get a good reference now. Ugh. See, like, if you think Jimmy's like a terrible person and this is all sinister, like, this is a thing that like a hero in an action movie would do. Like, make a fake drink to like knock out the guard or whatever. Like, it just doesn't seem so clear as to how you're supposed to feel. You sure about this? Maybe we could talk with Swansea when he's cleared up a bit later. He's just like really into workplace safety and stuff sometimes, you know? Which is like totally cool and stuff, I think. He taught me. It's time to be brave, Daisuke. Curly and Anya are counting on us. Like, am I supposed to believe that Jimmy's just saying this so that he can like keep his secret safe? Is like, that's the read, right? Like, it's like barely foamed up at all. It's those things. I've never been inside one. What are they called again? Cryostasis pods. Oh yeah, these things are far out. Totally sci-fi. It looks like this one still works. How long can these things even keep you frozen? 20 years. I can't believe Swansea managed to clear all the foam from here. He didn't. What? Think about it. Swansea never let you work with him on breaking the utility room foam wall, right? No, it needed to be handled delicately. He said I have way too much athletic strength in my arms. I would have just torn right through the foam. I was like, damn, makes total sense. Bummer. So I've been in charge of the kitchen instead. He said it's next level critical to keep stock and organize every day. Had me double, triple, tuple check everything like all the time. Right, of course. And he never told you he'd gotten in here? No, but look how busy he must have been. There was never any foam here, and Swansea has known the whole time. Just taking a load off before the sun finally sets on this party, huh? That boozed up bastard has been biding his time until he can save himself. Like, Jimmy's reaction is crass there, yeah, but like, what was Swansea doing? You know, like, did Swansea think that like they're gonna get into an argument, so he's gonna like, it's like the art, like, you gotta lie to him. You gotta lie to him to keep him safe. Like, Would getting in the pod really mean you'd get rescued? 20 years more of a chance to get found. I'd take those odds over our current situation. Not like this, though. Like, it seems like Swansea would put Anya or Daisuke in the pod, right? Not by lying through my teeth while waiting for everyone else to die. But, like... that just can't be right. I'm sure there's a reason. We'll ask him about it when he wakes up. We'll deal with him after. Right now, we have a job to finish. And the vent looks like it's still in one piece. Check out those sparks. I hate to imagine how gnarly it looks on the inside. It could be somewhat collapsed in places. You could make it through. We need to try it. Swansea said it's not safe. I know he forgot to tell us about the pod, but he knows like everything about this kind of stuff. Maybe we could just wait for him to wake back up. You said you could handle it. Swansea taught you well, right? Time to prove it. He'll be impressed when he wakes up. Proud. Yeah, like, this seems manipulative to me, you know? But it's like... it just puts the same pressure on you to be understanding that, like, this is a weird freaking situation. He'll understand why we had to do this. Then he can explain himself. Like, I just don't see why Jimmy would feel the need to push Daisuke into this. If he's, like, trying to protect his secret or whatever, then just let Curly go. How does letting Curly and or Anya die hurt Jimmy? Everyone's counting on you. Captain's orders. Yeah, I got this. Yeah, we're definitely still on it. I felt a little bit of responsibility because when you last left me in this game, there was a whole bunch of stuff that I had missed and that allowed me to willingly miss other stuff. And the reading that Jimmy is scum holds water. So I had to come back a third time and really see what the game was saying. What did you do? So we're already too late. Wait, but he got in. Basically, on the is scum side, there are a handful of subtle hints that Jimmy assaulted Anya, and that's why Anya is pregnant. Yeah. I think, you know, like my final outcome is that I think that is the, like, it's never outright stated either way, whether their like interaction was consensual or not. And there's other dialogue that actually pushes me in the other direction as well. Oh, we're Curly again. Okay, for F's sake, where is it? Us being let go isn't a reason to hurt yourself. Anya, as our nurse, you never get psych evals. I should have thought of that. You could have come to me if you were feeling stressed. What would you have done? Anything. Anything. You, the crew, are all my responsibility. I told you so over and over, yeah? I'm not going to hurt myself. You know the gun is in a safety case I can't open. But I hid the case itself. Tell me where it is. None of this has to be on our performance log. We'll figure it out together. I'm pregnant. You're what? Who would you... Captain. I told you. Listen to me. We can fix this. I've known him for a long time. I'll talk to him. I know you never give me the gun to protect myself. So the least I can do is make sure he never gets it either. It's just all like because this scene, the way it's expressed there, it sounds like that dialogue leads me to think that she told him about what happened and that he needed a little help putting two and two together. Right. Just implying that she's afraid of him, though, doesn't imply assault. In that case, it could have been like one consensual act, and then Anya regrets it. Jimmy like wants more or whatever, and then Anya says she's pregnant, and then Jimmy is like, no, I can't handle this. I don't want a child. And he gets mad, and that means she's afraid of him. But the way the captain was like, who would you sleep with or whatever, and she's like, I already told you, like, implies that she told him about the assault, and then he like got it. Yeah, it's like pretty subtle, like that little bit. The bleeding won't stop. Just try to stay still, Daisuke. I need a second to think. We can fix this. Hey kid, you hear me? Daisuke? Hey, stop. Don't move. It's alright, Daisuke, calm down. This line of work, you could never have become like miserable old Swansea. What a tragedy. Decades of hauling ass for Pony Express, big mighty bruiser with all his shiny tools. This is where it got me. The good life, huh? I thought you were dumber than a can of paint. Always just chewing my ear off about nothing. Useless ray of goddamn sunshine. Not an ace student, career workhorse, or force of ambition. Just a damn good kid trying his best. You could have taught an old fool like me a lot. Close your eyes, Daisuke. Rip Daisuke. You monster. I could have fixed him, Swansea. I have to do everything myself. Why can't any of you just give me some time to think? How do you still not understand? It's over. End of the line. He won't suffer one more second because of your delusions. Unbelievable. Stop pretending. I know all about your plan, Swansea. I went to utility. I saw what you've been hiding down there. Sneaking around with that axe, telling Anya who knows what. Now this? You're making sure you're the one who gets inside that cryopod. Ha! I sure did talk to Anya, but it was her telling me all sorts of things instead, wasn't it? Shouldn't a captain go down with his ship? Not that it matters anymore. I ain't got no place to be. I got everything I could ever want right here on this ship. So go ahead and get in that pod. If you ever get found, you can tell them whatever story you like. You've earned it. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to say again that I think the Jimmy is scum read is canon. Jimmy. So what happened the first time I played it, I missed like everything, nearly everything. But there's one through line that they repeat a couple times that was like, your worst moments don't make you a monster. And like that was one of the lines that stuck with me because they're all in this terrible situation. And again, it never outright states that Jimmy assaulted Anya. It's all subtext. And the first time I was just like playing it as a horror game. I was just like, hey, cool horror game. Let's play this for an afternoon. And then that one bit stuck with me. And it was like this, I was projecting like what I wanted the game to be. Because like, I still think like in this read where like Jimmy's just a terrible person and he's irredeemable and whatever, like it's just not that useful. Like men assaulting women and then like Curly, the captain or the boss, the higher ups covering it up and all this bullshit. There's like a valuable story to be told there. Like we need to remember that those things are real. Like that shit happens. But like the story that like, we make mistakes and our mistakes don't define who we are, and that even people that do really bad things we have to hold compassion for and remember that they're human. Like that story is also important to me. And so when I played through it the second time, that was the story that I wanted to see. And I saw some of the subtext saying what like it was implying to have happened. And I wanted the other story to be the one being told. I wanted the other lesson. Because, like, Jimmy is a scumbag. Like, Bad Man Bad isn't really a useful story, you know? Like, everyone knows Bad Man Bad. I told him, Anya, you should have waited for me. What did he say? Nothing that makes any difference. Did he seem angry? Where did he go? He just walked away. Curly, I don't want him in here anymore. Hold on, just wait. I need to find him. Everything's going to be okay. Jim, I can fix this. What do you think will happen when we get back? We can figure all of this out. You and me. All I ever hear is how great of a leader you are. It's so annoying. But now, what do you think will happen now when we get back? We'll fix this together. Everything you and I worked for in our lives, accomplishments, changes. None of it will matter. You've gotten through difficult situations before. This time won't be any different. Work through it one day at a time. It's not just me, is it? You were supposed to be the one who had everything under control. You said so yourself. The ship, this crew, everything that happened here. This was your responsibility, Captain. That is what you'll be hearing the rest of your life. Or this can all be remembered as a tragedy. Despite what must have been the best efforts of its acclaimed captain, the Tulper crew was never found. No one survived to tell the tale. You're standing at the top, feet in cement. I get it now. Right? Right. I'll take care of it. Jim, tell me you didn't. I didn't. What did you do? So I think it does change, like, because there's also this like very clear anti-capitalist through line that they're all put in this terrible situation, that Pony Express doesn't give a shit about them, that like their lives are meaningfully worse because of the situation they're put in. And if Jimmy and Anya's relationship is consensual and Anya gets pregnant because that's something that happens, right? Then like Jimmy's much less scum. Jimmy's not scum. Like an accidental pregnancy that's unwanted, like does not make you scum. And like being upset and treating the woman bad is unexcusable and is very bad. But again, our worst moments don't make us monsters. Like in that reading of the game where Jimmy and Anya's relationship is consensual, Jimmy's not scum. That's why I came out of it last time and I was like, we're all Jimmy, right? Because like in this hyperbolic case, like Jimmy condemns all these people to death, but you're Jimmy. And like he got fired from his job. He is going to have to like raise a kid. He has this weird interaction with Curly, like his best friend, where Curly is, going to leave him behind and go on to greener pastures. When they get fired, Curly's going to get a recommendation and they're not. So in that case, like Jimmy takes horrible actions that ruin 5 other people's lives, but it's like put on the player to understand that Jimmy is put in an impossible situation, that like we have to like look at what happens before people get to Jimmy's point, that we need to like take care of each other so that we don't all get put in these Jimmy situations by giant corporations or, despotic presidents taking away our like healthcare rights and shit like that. In that case, like Jimmy isn't scum at all. He does bad shit, but it's on us to like understand the message. In this game, when Jimmy has assaulted Anya before any of it, and Jimmy's just a shitbag the whole time, it takes all that nuance away. Like, we don't have to give a shit about Jimmy despite what he did. We're just like, Jimmy's shit. Jimmy's a terrible person. It turns out this game was just like a cool trick where Jimmy was a shitbag the whole time. So I think it does make a huge difference in the storytelling. Like, not in the storytelling, but in the messaging. Like, to me, like, Bad Man Bad is less valuable than, hey, let's look out for each other and, like, realize the real cause of our problems and not just label Bad Man Bad because you did one bad thing. Like, it's the healthcare guy just got killed and everyone's out there like, yeah, he deserved it. Like, clearly we lack compassion for other people when we see that they have done harm. And like, it just, that story is important too. Like, the whole scenario where Jimmy is scum, it's an important story as well. And it's just like a different story to be told. This game is called Mouthwashing. It's mostly a story-driven, like, atmospheric horror game. Woohoo! Happy birthday, Captain. This rocks. Hear, hear. To Captain Jimbo. And, like, now this whole ending, like, in the version where Jimmy's not scum, he's, like, stuck here. Just, like, endlessly, like, reckoning with what he's done. Like, he feels guilt. He can't escape the guilt. But in the Jimmy is scum ending, you don't give an F because Jimmy's scum. You want Jimmy to die. You better make it good. Hell yeah. Our captain, Captain Jimmy. A lot of people struggle to put food on their plates, but that wasn't enough, right, Captain? The lowest rung of your ladder is our high. See, like, we're back to, like, real anti-capitalist shit. Like, Jimmy has real grievances, but you don't care anymore. Jimmy's just a jealous asshole that, like, condemned everyone because he didn't want to take responsibility. Like, it just flattens a bunch of the other, like, context of the game. Like Swansea. Swansea's like, oh, you work your whole life and you never get through it or whatever. And like Swansea's reckoning, like, doesn't mean anything when Jimmy's just scum. Swansea's just a side character that Jimmy got killed. Life isn't even worth living at the same level as us, but I forgive you. All of us do. Like, clearly he's like effed up here. How's it going, Daisuke? I won't give up on you, even like this. I believe in you. We're going to make it through this. Sometimes we thrive, travel the endless reaches of space. But other times we just have to accept days like these. You taught me that, Curly. Let's eat. Let's survive. Like here, like he's lost it. Yeah, like he takes Curly's words and like twists them. But like it just is what it is. Because like I said, that's the Jimmy is scum reading is the reading. It is canon for the game. Yeah, it's the second thing. Like, also the timing of it. Like, if we see Jimmy lose his job and we see Jimmy, like, you know, have a troubled relationship with his best friend, and then, like, Jimmy's issue with Anya is that they have an unwanted pregnancy that he handles badly, then you can, like, understand Jimmy's reaction. If Jimmy, just before the story started, was assaulted Anya, then it just like cuts out the legs of all that nuance. It just like is like Jimmy is like, and honestly, like the worst moments don't make you a monster thing. That's like the super challenging reading, right? That like Jimmy did assault Anya before all of this, and you're still able to hold compassion for him. Like, you still understand that Jimmy's a person. Like, that's the super challenging reading. Like, there's not a lot of people out there in society right now that hold that view, you know? So, like, that's kind of, I don't think it's a failure of the game. I think it's just two different stories that could have been told. I think the game is very, very good. I think the game succeeded. I just read it wrong the first and second times I played it. Also, I don't remember how to do this part. Oh. No turning back now. Because, yeah, like the Jimmy is scum reading still has to reckon with the, like, repeated dialogue that our worst moments don't make us monsters. So, like, that is still there. It still exists. Like, the secondary reading, like, is still there. It's just so much harder to see when, like, because I went out onto the internet to do my due diligence, you know, a place to go. I don't just think my personal willingness to empathize with, I think I'm the only one out there, like, saying that, hey, we need to remember that Jimmy's a human. Like, when you go to Reddit and you're like, hey, what happened with Jimmy and Anya? It's just like endless people saying that Jimmy's a scumbag and he deserved to die and he's terrible. And, like, I hated Jimmy from the beginning. Jimmy's a shitbag. I'm glad he got blown into space. Like, dying was too good for him. Like, and, like, that's, I feel like a tiny part of the message of the game is lost. Or a possible message of the game is lost. That I totally missed all the messaging the first time I played the game. Sort of. It's complicated. But if your message is that our worst moments don't make us monsters, then it is harder to empathize with Jimmy. That line, our worst moments don't make us monsters, stuck out to me. Like, it's repeated like 3 or 4 times. So I think there is something of that in the game. And like I said, there is this large anti-capitalist, like, through line through everything that's said, you know? And so, like, the realization that systems have real effects on people and people don't always handle it well, and we've got to have compassion, it still exists in this version of the game. But the idea that, like, men take advantage of women, assault women, and then women get stuck in these situations, and then the bosses try to cover it up to cover their own asses, and then a bunch of bad shit happens and people try to get away from the responsibility, like, that story being told here as well obviously is real shit too, you know? Like, we can't escape that story either. And so with that story, like the two things existing side by side is really challenging to see both. I'm glad you're here, Guru, and you don't care about like having the hard conversations or whatever, because I think we scared everyone else away. Because then you get to this scene too, right? And you're like, oh, of course, like Jimmy just kills Swansea in cold blood or whatever. And so it's like, again, it's just really hard to understand that these two dudes are in life and death situations and they like were at odds with each other. And like Swansea may or may not have been attacking Jimmy with an axe. Like that could have been one of Jimmy's delusions. It's hard to say, but even if Swansea didn't attack Jimmy with the axe, Swansea did axe Daisuke. So like, you know, like, I don't know, like the subject matter is unpleasant, but like there is some amount of, you know, usefulness in talking them out for sure. I think it's necessary, if not fun. I think you feel the same way. I could be wrong. We've known each other for like a whole week, so I think this one I don't think your brain broken. I I think, well, how many bullets do I have? I think this one's a little harsh because the subject matter is just like so grim. But I think they're definitely, I see where you're coming from. Oh, I missed. This is sort of like as a kind of a departure from the the heavy like theming and messaging of the game. This is sort of like a weird a weird take for the gameplay. Like all of a sudden you have to do this like physically intense like reactions based bit of gameplay, and it's a little bit out of place. Where is he? I'm pretty sure he like always is coming after you. Found him. I wonder if they're like signs that I'm missing of where he is. He was right over here. Swansea, buddy. I want to get back to the talkie. Oh, now I'm out in the open. Yeah, you didn't miss anything. You just missed me lamenting that I have to like do actual reaction-based gameplay, and that I just want to get back to the talkie. And I've been doing an excellent job whiffing every single time. Okay. I have something to say, so shut up and listen. I spent 13 years half cut up to my eyeballs. Drunk, to put it mildly. Then suddenly I saw it, a streetlight shining in my face. 500 gigawatts of the power of God. A vision of my bloated body found in some ditch. Scared me straight. So I got a collar shirt, mortgage, and a credit card. All the things that make a good man. I hoped I could raise my children to be better than their old man. I wanted to believe I was never one setback away from my worst self. But the truth is, discipline, drive, routine, the endless desperation to get shit done, a loving wife, great kids, sobriety, I'm telling you, accomplishments I'd been chasing all my life, never felt as good as I expected when I crossed the finish line. So now that we're at the end, taking inventory, those nights spinning out of my head, sinking into the sofa, broken glass in my palms, bleeding dry, the funniest thing ever. Old dogs laughing and snarling on a waterbed floor, mocking the moon for daring to show its face. All nausea and wreckage and vomit and ugly cruelty. The only problem in the world, an empty bottle. Those were the best days of my life. Yeah, those were the best days of my life. I got nothing to hide, ready to face the music. I can see myself for what I am. But you, a cowardly, selfish MFer, and you can't even see it. I should have been able to protect the kid. If I could have done one thing right, I wish it had been to give him one small chance off this goddamn rock. Swansea, I'm going to fix everything. We're going to make it. F you. I guess like because it's tough too, the messaging. It's like the bit about our worst moments don't make us a monster. It like is contradicted within like just in that dialogue with Swansea. Swansea's just like, F you, you suck. You suck, you don't even know it, and you're a piece of trash. And it's like weirdly that like the same like anti like system message is there. Like Swansea's like, yeah, I got a job, I did this, I did everything I was supposed to do to be a good man, and it didn't work. Like I was never happy with it. And like he like admits that when he was drunk, he was like the happiest he'd ever been. Like being drunk didn't make him a monster. But then right after that, like our worst moments not making us monsters apply to everyone but Jimmy. Hello, Curly. It's like kind of a question, I guess, of whether you think like also whether you think Jimmy's running from responsibility or from guilt. Like the game flashes take responsibility a bunch of times, but it also doesn't really like it's put Jimmy in this like horrible situation. I mean, he put himself in the situation. Yes. There's no denying that.
Old Mother Goose's birthday, we're giving her a party. A party, a party, a party for Mother Goose.
The baker man, he served a cake, it was a sight to see.
How do I get Curly's leg? Can I? Yeah, I mean, I don't like. Oh, I was just watching that for a while for no reason. Okay, did I get the leg already? Oh, I did. No, this is the only time where you have to arrange Curly's intestines in order to feed him a bit of his own leg. Like, it says help me and it shows Jimmy a picture of Jimmy. Like, there is some tension between whether he feels guilt, whether he's running from guilt or running from like responsibility. Like, if he felt the guilt, you'd think he'd be more inclined to take responsibility. But it is tricky. And there's also like some idea floated that at this point, Jimmy's just like totally gone and like there's not enough oxygen on the ship and he's just... So it's hard to say. But here, like, there's Curly burning, the direct results of Jimmy's actions, and he is going towards it. I want to go home. We are home. Why don't you finish what you started? Don't worry, if anyone ever finds us, I'll still be playing the villain. You'll be the better man in the end, like you wanted. I could have stopped it. I'm taking responsibility. We can both be heroes. We're a team, just you and me, like we used to be. What happened was an accident. We were trapped. I made a mistake, all right? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Curly. See, like, if... It just makes this bit disingenuous that he apologizes to Curly when you think like that's not his main transgression. I still don't understand the mechanics of this upcoming bit. Yeah, this is the maze bit. All clean. I hope this hurts. Really gets rid of that bad taste in your mouth, huh? Through wreckage. Through silence. Wash it away. All day, fire fresh. Oh, these are like Polles. It definitely sounded like a baby and came out of what appeared to be female reproductive organs. And we ultrasound it. But this whole bit is confusing to me. Oh, I don't want to go that way. That didn't work? Yeah, that's what I thought it was like. I thought it was flesh as well. Up until this time. It makes less sense that it's not to me. Maybe there's like audio cues as to where it's going to be. I know I kind of, last time I just kind of like zigzagged and somehow it eventually worked. I thought like the first time I played, like I heard it and I stopped and then it like came around the corner and got me. Okay, maybe that is the trick. Yeah, I guess I didn't really like attempt to engage with many of the mechanics the last time. I don't know. It could have been stay in the light. It could have been stay out of the light. It could have been any of those things. Stop. Not moving seemed to work that time. Pony Express is dead, and so are you.
Polle says,
Shut up. Curly tried his best. I did too, but he's the better man. I see that now. We can both still make it. I'll take care of him. I'm taking responsibility. Curly. Captain. I'm so sorry. Yes. I do. I effed up, but I can still make this right. Our worst moments don't make us... Wait, he was about to say the thing, and Polle cut him off. like the reading still. So like, but Polly's been the like monster, the bad guy or whatever, and like Jimmy's about to say the thing, and Polle cuts him off and asks why he's so concerned with Curly. So, like, the Jimmy is Scum reading is like he's concerned with Curly, with getting Curly out, because Curly is the one who will cover it up for Jimmy. But like, it's such a weird thing to be concerned with at this point. But again, like, none of this at this point, like, really needs to make rational sense from like a literal plot perspective. Like, whether this is real or not, or Jimmy hallucinating or whatever. It's okay, Curly. You're going to be okay. You always had my back. I ended up hurting you even though I was trying to save us. Like, it does seem like a mad, selfish view. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm 100% sure that, like, this is the intended narrative. I missed it the first time because I missed it. I missed it the second time because I wanted to see something else. But it's all 10 billion% here. Like, even here, Jimmy seems only concerned with him and Curly. But now you'll survive. It's like you said, together we can fix anything. I'm just proud I got to be your friend and co-pilot. I'm proud I got to be your friend and co-pilot, Captain. No one can hurt you now. We fixed it. I fixed it. Yeah, but like the one sympathetic character, like the whole time, is Anya. Well, and Daisuke. And Anya is the one that says multiple times that our worst moments don't make us monsters. Like, the victim of Jimmy's scummery is the one who reminds you that. Like, definitely at the end, that's a good call. Like, it could definitely, Jimmy's like trying to use that. I see that. That makes sense contextually in the game. That just kind of sucks. That, because then it like primes you when like someone says that we have to have compassion for people who do harm. You're like, no, we don't. Mouthwashing told me that that's just a bullshit excuse that people who do harm say. And so that's a tricky situation too. Okay. I made it through. Finally have a grip on the game after 3 playthroughs. Probably. I hope it was the charm. I think the game, like, just from a baseline media literacy standpoint, has like so much. Like, I played it the first time and was just like, yeah, this is a horror game, atmospheric horror, and missed very nearly every single thing that the game had to say. And then somehow, after being a complete Munson, found like 2 different takes, like meta takes, that the game was putting out. And I thought that was just like super, super fun. I do for sure, like, it, you can't, I don't think there's any arguing that Jimmy assaulting Anya is canon. And that in the end, like, Jimmy never even attempted to like resolve like what he did to Anya. And that message is like important and powerful. Again, I was just like wishful thinking the other bit, because it's still there. It's still there. Like Anya saying our worst moments don't make us monsters. Like there's the cynical read that like, it's not cynical because like that's real too. That like women try to defend their abusers because they're scared or because of societal pressure, and you know that's real shit too. Maybe I'm wishful thinking again. Maybe that's what was being conveyed here, but I think like maybe, just maybe, they're putting out the real challenge for you to still, after all that shit, hold some like ounce of humanity in your heart for the Jimmies. That it's not just about revenge and vengeance and whatever, and that like to make sure everyone is human, even when those humans don't treat other humans as human, is like the thing you need to do to not become them. Or some crazy shit like that. I don't know.